Opposition coordinates. 53 degrees 20 minutes 26 seconds north, 6 degrees 15 minutes 14 seconds west, 53.34055 degrees north, 6.254021 degrees west, 53.34055. Minus 6.254021. Dial ireann is the lower house and principal chamber of the Oireachtas. TDs represent 39 constituencies and are directly elected at least once every 5 years by the single transferable vote form of proportional representation. Its powers are similar to those of lower houses under many other bicameral parliamentary systems, and it is by far the dominant branch of the Oireachtas. Subject to the limits imposed by the Constitution of Ireland, it has power to pass any law it wishes, and to nominate and remove the Taoiseach. Since 1922, it has met in Leinster House in Dublin. The Dáil took its current form when the 1937 Constitution was adopted, but it claims descent from the first Dáil of 1919. The name Dáil Éireann is taken from the Irish language but is the official title of the body in both English and Irish, including both language versions of the Irish Constitution. Since the Dáil was first established in 1919, it has also been described variously as a National Assembly, a Chamber of Deputies, and a House of Representatives. A Dáil means an assembly or parliament, so a literal translation of Dáil Éireann is Assembly of Ireland. Article 15 of the 1937 Constitution describes the body as a House of Representatives to be called Dáil Éireann. In common usage, the word Dáil is accompanied by the definite article, but Dáil Éireann is not. One speaks of the Dáil, but not the Dáil Éireann. The plural of Dáil in the English language is most commonly Dáils, although the Irish language plural Dálai is sometimes encountered in English. As there is only ever one Dáil in existence at any one time, the plural should only be used when referring to the Dáil as it is constituted following different elections. For example, when referring to the first and second Dáils, Dáil Éireann has 160 members. The number is changed within the limits of the Constitution of Ireland, which sets a minimum ratio of 1 member per 20,000 of the population, and a maximum of 1 per 30,000. Under current legislation, members are directly elected at least once in every 5 years by the people of Ireland under a system of proportional representation known as the single transferable vote. Membership of the Dáil is open to Irish citizens who are 21 or older. A member of the Dáil is known as a Taoiseach Dála, TD, a deputy. The Dáil electorate consists of Irish and British citizens over 18 years of age who are registered to vote in Ireland. Under the Constitution, a general election for Dáil Éireann must occur once in every 7 years. An earlier maximum of 5 years is set by the Electoral Act 1992. The Taoiseach can, at any time, make a request to the President to dissolve the Dáil, in which case a general election must occur within 30 days. The President may refuse to grant the dissolution, and ask the Dáil to form an alternative government without a general election taking place. The STV electoral system broadly produces proportional representation in the Dáil. The small size of the constituencies used, however, usually gives a small advantage to the larger parties and underrepresents smaller parties. Since the 1990s, the norm in the state has been coalition governments. Prior to 1989, however, one-party government by the Fianna Fáil party was common. The multi-seat constituencies required by STV mean that candidates must often compete for election with others from the same party. This increases voter choice but is accused by some of producing TDs who are excessively parochial. By-elections occur under the alternative vote system. Proposals to amend the constitution to change to the plurality voting system electoral system were rejected in referendums in 1959 and in 1968. Currently, every constituency elects between 3 and 5 TDs. The constitution specifies that no constituency may return fewer than 3 TDs but does not specify any upper limit to constituency magnitude. However, statute specifies a maximum of 5 seats per constituency. The Constitution requires that constituency boundaries be reviewed at least once in every 12 years, so that boundaries may be redrawn to accommodate changes in population. Boundary changes are currently drafted by an independent commission, and its recommendations are implemented by law. Malapportionment is forbidden by the Constitution. Under the Constitution, the Commission is required to refer to the most recent census when considering boundary changes. In the 29th dial elected in 2002, there was 1 TD for every 25,000 citizens. This ratio is in line with that of many other European Union member state national parliaments. Ratios. Giving Ireland a similar MP to citizen ratio to Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania and Sweden. With the adoption of the current constitution in 1937, the membership of the dial was reduced from 153 to 138. But in the